On your smiley faces. Hello! Put on your smiley faces. Welcome to VO Journey and Academy Voices, because we're doing Academy Voices live today. My name is Anthony.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Angela.
And we are the peeps running Academy Voices. Welcome to our show. It's good to be back. We haven't done one of these in a while because I was away in Alaska.
Petting mooses.
Yes, petting the moose, the meese.
The mooses.
Meese. I didn't call mooses, right? I mean, we think
No, it's just moose.
But it's just
Just
the
moose.
large number of moose.
Moose.
That makes you want to say
So
like
silly.
moose. Yes. Well, with all that being said, we've got a lot of exciting things happening in Academy Voices. A bunch of things happening, and I want to kind of share those with everybody. Before we get into kind of what we're talking about today, we're talking about kind of multicast ideas, along with, as always, directions, instructions, kind of going through with Angela and Gabby some of the latest things they're seeing with what the voice actors are submitting, so that we can give you advice and tips on how to do your files right, auditioning, etc. So first things I want to talk about is some exciting things. So we have our quarterly payment coming out, and this is one of our largest ones. Almost $6,000 is going out to our voice actors and authors, royalties. So very excited about that. Yay! I feel like there's snaps or something. So snaps, when you're a theater kid, snaps. Very exciting about that. So congratulations, everyone. And also a quick tip, because I know this question had come up in the chat or in the announcement section. If you are new, or you are just starting Academy Voices, or you just submitted an audiobook or something like that, you will receive. So the question was, how do I know, how do I know what royalties I have, et cetera, et cetera? What happens is once your book is published, and because remember, the three of us, we do all of this manually, right? We're all humanistas, and so once that's done, we will receive reports from retailers quarterly, typically, sometimes monthly, but quarterly. Sometimes they're late too. By the way, did you guys know, on a side note, that this month we've actually had late? There's been retailers that are late. The retailers don't always send their stuff on time either. This is an interesting thing, but I think that's maybe typical in audiobooks, as because the retailers, whether their reports, depending on how long the month is, depending on if there was some weird, holiday, like not weird holiday, but just a holiday, you know what I mean? Something that weird happened that month. They don't always, nothing's always on time, which is something interesting I've learned about audiobook royalties. It never seems to be on time.
Oh, geez.
Anyways, so, but what I'm saying was that is you will receive a link from us when there is actual sales. So if you haven't received a link, it could be a couple things, and you've already done a book or more than one audiobook with us. It could be either it's still getting pushed out, because remember, sometimes it could be a month that you actually get things. And what a lot of people don't know, and I want to share this with everybody, is there is time that some of these retailers, a lot of them, will not pay us for 3 months or 6 months. They have like a 3-month or 6-month lag. Right. So you publish an audiobook with them, and it takes them 3 to 6 months to actually start paying you for those past 3 to 6 months. It's like when you go to work and you're like, well, you get paid next month. Well, this is like the same thing, except sometimes it's like a quarter. Yeah. And because remember, the deals that we've cut and the deals that we use with each of these, it's not the same as if you go like directly, because people be like, well, I go through ACX and I get paid monthly. And that's because ACX, like, it's directly through that one singular platform, and that's run by ACX and Audible. Whereas, we are running through all of these and have different deals with them. So they do it differently, right, than they do directly through their platform. Same with like Spotify, because we run directly through Spotify with a lot of our audiobooks, and a variety of different things. So anyways, all that information. So that was just an answer there. What else was I don't know. I was just blabbing away. What else was I talking about? I don't even, it's gone. Woo! What?
Well,
Oh,
we have a question.
okay. Quick, shift his thoughts. He's gone nuts. Okay, yes. What's the question? Oh, here we go.
It
I'm
looks
curious.
like, yeah, I'm curious. How does Academy Voices pay authors that use the service? All sales together, or how? A question from one of my author friends interested in how it works with Academy Voices.
I was so ready for it to be like, I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Yeah.
I'm asking for someone else who's interested. Yeah, so the authors, it's exactly the same way as we pay the narrators, okay? And they, get a percentage of the audiobook. So as an author, when an author comes in with their work, they get 80% of the royalties, and VOJ takes 20% for managing that. And in royalty share circumstances, they split that with the narrator, right? 50-50 for 10 years. So the narrator gets 40%, the author gets 40%. This is unheard of. No one else does that. We do it. We only take 20%. Most places never offer that, and for 10 years. So it's a very high percentage that goes to them. We're able to do that because we charge the lowest fee in the industry for the author. Right. So we charge them an upfront fee so that all of that extra money then goes to the author and the narrator. And by the way, that's and if they choose to do a per finished rate as well, we don't take any fees from that per finished rate. All that money goes to the narrator. So, which is, I think, which is awesome. You got any? That was okay. Wait. So if AV accumulates all royalties from all various platforms and then pay, the how AV does the financial collection?
Then how does?
Yeah.
If AV accumulates all the royalties from all various platforms, then pay. And how does? I mean, it's deposited into our business account. Yeah, I mean, that's simple. It's just posited into our account, and then we're given reports, right? So how we so interestingly enough, yeah, I mean, and I would assume this is done. So ISBN numbers is kind of how it's all run, right? Everything's based around that's like the identification code we use, all right, for every single book and that or audiobook that we have, and that's all tied together. So that's how we track each individual audiobook, who's narrated it, who owns the rights to it, what percentages we have. Tiffany Magnuson, when we started this, she created a program that runs all of this for us, and we run reports and stuff like that that way. Those are good questions.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good questions, and I love to answer these questions because where else are you gonna go to talk to a business like we're doing that would actually answer this stuff?
Right.
Right. They would never answer this,
or just direct you to a link or give a vague response.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Anthony, I've been meaning to ask you two things about your Alaska trip. One, did you see the North Star? And two, did you bag a moose? I don't know about the North Star, but I saw the most beautiful mountains that that touch the sea right when you're driving on a road and the mountain is literally right next to you and you look straight up. I mean, it is the most humbling experience. It made me feel so small and so humble, right? Because to think about just the grandeur of all of that, and it was absolutely amazing. And did I bag a moose? No, but we saw a bunch. Every time I go to Alaska, I see a bunch. I mean, they're there. Where it was in the backyard. I mean, it's
they just roam, right?
They just roam. There is no
one's gonna stop them.
No one's gonna stop those guys. So they just roam. And now during the summer, it doesn't get dark. So that's what's interesting about the place. Now where my mom currently lives in Homer, it is in the south, And because of that, it says south of Anchorage, about 4 hours south, and it is probably gets the darkest there. So for about an hour, literally just an hour, it's about almost dark, and then at about 2:30 in the morning, the sun is all the way up, and it goes down about 1:30 or so, and it's about almost dark. But the rest of the time, it feels like, that's why like 11 or 12, it feels like 6 p.m. right at night. So I was very happy to come back to dark. Yes, Tylenol PM, that helped out a lot. Melatonin,
blackout curtains.
But that's why like here I've been having a hard time this week trying to get adjusted back to sleeping correctly, because also it's like 4 hours difference. So, and and then the plane ride, even though it's Alaska, you're still up for like 24, 36 hours on that whole journey, because, with the layovers, you never go to sleep, right? Because you're always going to be going over midnight to 4 or 5 in the morning. You know what I mean? It's just a long trip. So good questions. Okay. Did we want to real quick before we keep going? Shush Studio Productions is very intrigued by the whole. AV tracks all the sales on all platforms, and authors do not need to do any tracking.
Yeah, she's one of our members.
Good question. Yeah, well, yes, the reports are given to us. The reports are given to us, and through the dashboard links that we have, all the authors. Oh, that's right, because you're asking for your author friend. All the authors will, they get a link to their dashboard, just like the voice actors, and it shows them every report that we get when it's uploaded. It shows them how many sales they've had, right? How many, now from platform to platform, we've not gone that far in depth, and because so it's general, audiobook sales, retails, pool sales, things like that. But I will tell you, we run it by reports. So basically, when we get the report from the retailer, because we're not a part of their businesses, they don't allow us to tap into their internal numbers. Meaning, like, if you're on ACX, you might be able, like, if you're on ACX as an author, ACX has a platform when you go in there that allows you to see what you sold today. And that, you know what I mean? They do it daily because it's internally run through their business. We secondary or third, like what we do as a publishing and a catalog, they don't allow us to see that internal data. So they just give us the reports at the end of the month or the quarter. And then we upload those reports to our program, which then puts those reports onto the links that everybody's got for their dashboard, right? And it's then divided for their specific. So they will only see, of course, their books. I hope that makes sense. That makes sense to everybody? Okay. Let's stop real quick because we had some things to talk about. Angela, let's talk about just some of the things you're seeing real quick on some tips about files, because this is really important. So
I just pulled up some stuff on that too I want to address.
Okay, good.
Either one, go ahead. Doesn't matter which one starts.
Well, Angela, you go ahead and start, and then I'll kind of explain what I think is happening.
Okay. As you guys know, I do the publishing side for Academy Voices, and I'm just seeing a little bit of confusion in how files are submitted to be published, and we're experiencing a little bit of a bottleneck there. And I think ultimately, Academy Voices, our audiobook files should be just ACX standard. I mean, just to make it simple. Gabby.
So I think what's happening is there is a line in our instructions that I think is causing this, because it addresses fiction without chapters. And it says to record as one continuous narration file, excluding opening and closing credits. However, right below that, it also gives the breakdown of how to separate. And so the idea is, yes, if you come to a natural break, even in something that's without chapters, you go ahead and you create a separate file. So,
yeah. If the singular file, if any file, exceeds an hour and 15 minutes, it needs to be split
Yeah.
in half. It cannot exceed an hour and 15. Let's just say an hour and 15 minutes because that just makes it easy.
Yeah.
It
I
has to be
think
split.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to update that in our doc to make sure that that is totally clear. Because
And
I
that
think
can
that's
be, and that because we do a lot of work too, that might also be why that's needed, is because there also is work we do where we might do a story that's an hour and the whole story is an hour and 50 minutes long and it doesn't have any chapter breaks. Right. And so, what we have to do then, but because we can only do a file that's an hour and 15 minutes, that has to be broken up, right? So that you have like part 1, part 2, and oftentimes in those stories they're not set up that way for audio. So we have to add, and I'm sure that can get confusing, to some people. What do I do? What do I not do? So yeah, so good. We wanted to answer that question because we're seeing a lot of that. Now, here's a little tip though, just so you guys know. Because of that happens, and there's nothing wrong because that's what we do, it does slow down the process of getting more audiobooks published, right? Because we have to go back, we got to make sure we fix all that and things like that. So, that and that's it's not a problem. It just slows things down because sometimes I do get questions, hey, I've done this. I was wondering when it goes up, and it's like, we're booking it. Trust me, we're publishing a lot. I do think we've got to 700 now, haven't we? We're darn close.
Yeah, we're darn close.
I think we're like at 690 something. So, and we kind of batch publish. I think we batch publish as well as we batch, do batch auditions and casting. So, yeah, so good work. Also, I put up another new, if you're in Academy Voices, we had a couple new authors. Some new stuff has gone up. So make sure you check that out. New stuff went up yesterday from a new author we have.
Yay.
And our previous author, we're going to be probably putting up another 40 new audiobooks from a new author. So that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. So be prepped for that. Yes.
Also, more questions about file naming, some of which even have me confused. So,
okay, where is it on here? Is it on here? Okay,
so
where was
Ryan started us off. What if you have multiple things that are the same and go together, but the naming instruction for the files are different from one another?
What if
they shouldn't be
that are the same and go together, but the naming instructions for the files are different from one another? I don't know. What if you have multiple things that are the same and go together, but the naming instructions for the file? So I think maybe, but what I was kind of talking about before was that if the whole thing is combined, right, and it's the same, but you have to put part 1, part 2, part 3, right? You just have to add that in, even though it's not actually in the text, because that again, it was written a certain way, not for audio, and we have to put that in there for purposes of the retailers and what they ask us to do. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but
so I mean, just to give an example of that, if you have one long short story that doesn't have any chapters or headings or any real obvious way to split it, and it runs 2 hours long, just name the file the name of the story, part 1. And then the second file after you split it is name of the story, part 2. Just do it that way. Just make it simple.
The confusion comes from the line after opening credits, 2 seconds of room tone before narration, but opening credits should be second.
Yes. Well, that's why I'm saying just ACX standard. I think we all know what ACX standard is at this point.
After opening credits, 2 seconds of room tone before narration.
In his next comment, Paul says that makes it sound like after opening credits, put in a 2-second gap, then start chapter 1.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, that's not. We'll check. We'll go through and check all this.
Yeah.
We'll go through and check all this.
We'll
Thank you guys for checking that out for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ryan says, I have 5 essays. 4 tell me to name them one way, but one is different from the others. These are super state bookings, but from the same overall book.
Yeah, and I know exactly what he's talking about there. I don't know. I'm unaware of the one that is different, but I told him in chat, we want to keep it all consistent. So, yeah.
Wait, 4 tell me to name them one way, but one is different from the others, like a different name.
I guess the instructions maybe are slightly different.
Oh, Ryan, you can always reach out to me too. Just send me just DM me on Discord or something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, good call. Well, listen, I mean that's the thing that there is I know everybody knows, but there is a massive amount of work that is going through Academy Voices. And the three of us right here are the people who are doing all of it. So which is awesome, but also, it's one of those things where reach out to us, message us, you know what I mean? Because we're going to give you exact answers because we are the exact people who are putting all of this through. Mm-hmm. So we'll know exactly what needs to happen and so forth. Okay. Well, those are good questions there. All right. What else we got? Anything else I wanted to chat something about what's exciting possibly coming up. Mm-hmm. Now, we all love multicast opportunities, multicast audiobooks. They're just tons of fun. All right. And I think we're seeing it so much more. I'm seeing it a lot more just in the audiobooks I listen to today as well. And remember, multicast doesn't necessarily also mean like, the new Harry Potters that came out with the whole thing as all those different characters. A multicast could mean there's, one main character, right, who is the voice, and then there's the narrator and a bunch of other characters who's just another voice, right? So but having more than one narrator allows us to really open up even our existing catalog as well as more catalogs. So, that's an exciting thing because, imagine Pride and Prejudice, right, with, a couple of different cast members, and, or imagine, any of the stories that we do. So that really opens up for us having a lot more opportunities of very popular titles as we look to add more performance in there. So, and then that doesn't even tap into the full production of an like with music. Okay. Now, mind you, as you go into this, because some people ask me, why it's popular, people like it, but why isn't it become the main go-to method if it's so popular and people love it? Well, the reality is, and I can look at if you ask Gabby, Angela, anybody, the reality of it, everybody, is that it is so much work.
It is.
It's so much work, and financially, it doesn't often make sense. You know what I mean? Because and then when you add music and effects, I mean, you're just talking about, think about it. I mean, when you're one narrator who's just narrating the words and delivering a file with no background music, no effects, no multiple people, you know what I mean? It's straightforward. But when we start adding, because the question I get, and Angela and Gabby, maybe you guys can talk about this too a little bit in your experiences, but the question I get first when we go into the multicast, the first pushback, it's not a pushback, but the first question is, well, who's going to produce it? Mm-hmm. Right? Because usually the producer, that's why ACX calls us the producers as a narrator, because we're producing it, we're putting it together. But if there's multicast, somebody's got to put together those files so that when one character speaks, the next character comes right after them.
And that music, those sound effects, that sound design, all has to be licensable, right? Because should any of it come from an unlicensed source, then we have a problem. Yeah. Right. It is a lot. It is a lot. I mean, potentially at that point, you're putting in as much work as creating a full-length audio movie or more. Yeah.
What do you think, Angela? What are you know, with all of that? What do you think? What do you think? I've got like so many different thoughts about all of it because I
I know
want
you
to do
do.
it.
I know you do, but I think that that is the thing. The production is really, I think, the toughest part because somebody has to do it. And then to Gabby's point, it has to be all legit. I think that's the hardest part.
I would say something too, and this is a just as we're also all voice actors here, a very valuable skill that you can get and teach yourself is to get better at doing this very thing. So, which is just getting better at being able to mix files together, more familiar with the DAW you're using so that, because whenever I've done those, I'm typically the person who will mix the work. Now, what that looks like for us and what my hope is, if we bring that is that we're going to be looking for people voice actors who can do that. So if we cast 2 people, for example, for an audiobook, one of the requirements will be at least one of those people will have to be able to put that file together, right? As of now. So, one of them will be almost like the project leader who will get those files. Now we have, because by the way, on a side note, maybe people don't know, but we do. So even though it doesn't seem like that, we do have authors who are coming to us monthly who are picking voice actors from the roster, and most of the work we've had has been multicast work. It's been very interesting. Most of all the author work currently has been multicast work, and our voice actors who are cast are producing those. So one of the voice actors will get the files from the other voice actors, and then they will put them together and deliver that finished file to us. All right, and the author. So that's how it currently goes. Because once you involve an engineer, it's in that whole process. That's another that just increases the cost of all of it. So
Mary Lynn had a great comment. She said, I'm in a multicast right now. I'm one of 10, and the release is scheduled for October. So much goes into the production. Mary Lynn, when was the project started? That's what I'm curious about. Yeah. Like, how long has it been in production?
And this is another reason why, because for the longest time, so many of us, and I know it, we've wanted to do. Bonnie was such a big advocate for, because she does her own, and these are audio dramas. And audio dramas are wonderful. We love them. But again, that's the full package. It's a full cast, full music and effects. Typically, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be, but that's typically what we all hope or think of when we want, a full audio drama. And we were like, let's do an audio drama. And it's always wonderful if you're the one who just records one part. And like putting it all together, it's a lot. And typically, and I don't know, let me ask you too. The issue of it is that they don't seem, at least maybe because they're not mass yet, that they're selling any better than the other ones. Now, as more we come out, maybe we'll see. But do you know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? You don't see them necessarily selling more.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they have a particular audience.
Yeah.
I think they have a very specific audience that may or may not be fans of audiobooks at large. And I think that this appeals more to like the graphic novel crowd. But yeah, I haven't seen stats that would suggest that they sell more.
Maybe that was a little too forward of me to say that, because I don't have numbers to back up that. But
I can tell you from personally, if there is a choice or an option for me to choose just a straight audiobook, maybe even a dual or a duet versus a full dramatized immersive audiobook, I'm going with the immersive one.
Interesting. I actually don't. I like the one narrator, but you know why? Because I've been burned. Like I've had some books where you'll listen and the narrator's going and you love them, they're fantastic, and then they hired someone else and bless their heart, they're just not. They're not. I'm like, man, I wish that other narrator was still doing it because they're not as good. But I guess that that gets me to like a specific.
But that's just your
story,
personal. That's just your bias.
I know.
You're just biased at that point. I would say, Anthony, this is your assignment for today. And everybody knows in Launchpad and Academy, VOs during Academy, I love assigning homework. Anthony, I'm giving you homework. Pick a new Audible audiobook from Audible or wherever you enjoy your audiobooks as a fully dramatized production, and be like a brand new audiobook that you haven't heard before, so there's no bias. And then let me know what you think.
Ooh.
I respect a full report.
That's a hefty homework.
Angela, you're tough.
Do I
Yeah.
accept your homework? That's
Do
the
it.
question, Nancy.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
know.
Your work wife has spoken, sir.
You've been challenged.
You've been
Gauntlet
challenged.
thrown.
Oh, good Lord. Well, you know what? I will put that on the schedule. There we go. We'll put that
For
on the
2027.
Yes.
Oh my God, listen.
2027.
Listen in the shower. Listen in the
Listen
car.
in the shower.
You know?
Too funny.
Yes, so full disclosure, I love, and I said this on Gab when we were talking yesterday. My actual favorite, and I know some of you will cringe, my favorite audiobooks is financial audiobooks. I love
Yawn.
listening to financial investment,
Which
Yawn.
would be a little
strategy,
weird.
business audiobooks. That's my favorite. I listen to all these other audiobooks when I'm driving the car with my lovely wife, who I then I listen to all of the, what is it, Nora? What are all the famous authors that she listens to, the audiobooks?
Well, I would be happy to make some recommendations for you, Anthony, that you both might enjoy.
Well, all I know is I blush to high heaven when I go into our amazing Wednesday nights.
The spicy reads?
Spicy reads, who's led by our amazing Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Yeah, that's a little too, I don't know. It just gets me all spicy, nervous. Anyway, it does. It's a lot. It's a lot. Because it's people I know, and it's weird to hear some of that.
Anthony, how long have you been in this business? You need to get over that.
I know.
This is their job.
And no, they're not doing it. They're amazing. I'm just saying it's me.
Okay,
that's
wow.
that's just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Switch your mindset. This is their job.
Oh, dear.
These are people I know, but they do spicy stuff.
No, I know that. I'm just saying. See, now you're making me blush. All right.
Listen, I'm the same way. I mean, when we did Spicy Vojo, I was just in the corner going, I can't. I'm sorry. I
Here,
can't.
I'm not going to lie. The very first time I heard some of my closest, dearest colleagues speak words that we normally don't, I was like,
Yeah.
but I got over it because it's their job.
Yes, absolutely. And it is extremely popular, so that is, so as a voice actor and actor, it's if that's something that you can do, by all means, rock and roll, because it is a very, very trendy right now. It's been for a while.
Yeah.
All right, do we have anything else here to say? What was this? We had yes, Marilyn said April. Gabby, so the project
she
started in
in
April.
That's
author
long.
J.S. Bond. Final
Wow.
Yep, they're a production.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
John Myers had a great idea for perhaps original work. Anthony, let's see if we can write a book or have someone write a book about finance and adventure.
I do have, yes.
If anybody could pull it off, it's Anthony.
I was searching for the answers of finance with the moose. Yes, we can.
There has to be a moose in it.
Financial version of Animal Farm. Got it.
There
Okay,
has to
perfect.
be a
That's how we
moose
work
in
it.
it.
I don't know. That one would be interesting. So yeah, I do want to say that what I am thinking of and toying with is, working at creating. I've always wanted us to create more of our own original content through Academy Voices, just because we love to create. So I do think that I've got some ideas for working with authors in order to create our own original content. So there's a lot on the horizon.
Mhm.
There's a lot on the horizon.
Hold on, I have the working title, Anthony.
Oh no, you
A
guys
moose. A moose and his money.
the moose and his money.
Come on, we can do
Do
this.
you like
That's
that one,
great.
Angela?
I do.
I'm gonna write
The
that
moose
down.
and his wallet, or something. Yes, I love it. The moose. and
Sounds
his
like a
money.
kid's. It sounds like a kid's financial
Right?
book, and I love that.
Well, we could make it a kid's book, like an early introduction into financial literacy. And you know what? Chris
A moose and his
Velasco,
moolah.
this guy has got voices. He needs to be part of it.
Yes. Do you know my daughter and I, we created this whole thing, this whole series. I created it because she was driving her to school and her stuff. I would do these voices for her, and basically I would pretend I was her driver, called Mr. Smythe. And Mr. Smythe was Australian, right? So I would do this Australian voice. I was Mr. Smythe, and I was on leave because my original job was to ferry around fairy tale characters. So I was their chauffeur, so like princesses and stuff like that. And but Mr. Smythe had all these animals, right? So like moose and but his favorite was a turtle called Speedy. And Speedy, he would take Speedy around the world to do all of these like competitions, right? Tree climbing, swimming competitions. And then, we found out like Speedy, I was a part of the Turtle Council that ran the world, right? This Turtle
Wow.
Council was like a secret Turtle Council and stuff. So we create all this stuff, and but we never put that book. We thought it would be so cool to write a book about like Mr. Smythe and like Speedy and stuff in the Turtle
That's a
Council.
series.
Right. And
Anthony, I just wrote something down that's so funny that we just went off on this tangent, and I love it. Next week, for a topic, I would love for us to call it Imagination Week, and for us to
I love that.
explore the imagination that actors need and the creative visualization and those skills that often adults lose if we don't exercise it like a muscle. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I would say too, just because this is yet another one of the reasons why I created Academy Voices, and all three of us here firmly believe in this. I think we are at a point where if you have an idea, if you have a book, many of you are writers.
Bring it.
Many of you are authors of your own. Many of you have things like I did, and you wrote something a while ago and you don't know. Send it to us. Send it to me. I'll read it. I'll take a listen to it. We also can publish books, and I've looked more recently into how to get more into the publishing of books and ebooks, and we can do that because we've already done it. What are you guys laughing about?
Everybody.
Beaver
the
nuggets from Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Oh my goodness.
Good old Buc-ee's.
This one's funny. Accounting with County the Mountie.
I love
Where
it.
we go to
Bucky
Canada.
Bucks. I don't know why there aren't Bucky Bucks. Bucky Bucks should be a thing. So
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
we could keep
Well,
going.
with that being said, we should probably call it a lovely day. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And I will say real quick before we go, though, how are we? I think I saw somebody earlier say I need to get my auditions in. Gabby, what are you seeing with auditions?
Not enough. Not enough. We need more auditions. Absolutely. I will tell you something that I have started doing recently. If an audition has less than 4 people who have auditioned, I will skip it and I will wait to cast it until more people have submitted, because I just don't think that's fair. And
the challenge is, Gabby, is most of
Yeah.
them, and we love it, but most of them end up being the same people who might already be working on 2 or 3
Exactly.
audiobooks.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, no, as far as Academy Voices goes, we need more. Definitely. Absolutely.
Why do we think that? What do we think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say a big topic this week has been imposter syndrome, fear of success, fear of being seen, fear of moving forward, the perfection, procrastinating, a big topic for the week, and a lot of people that have. And we called a couple out last night in the script workout
Ooh.
that they're putting barriers in their own way. So you just got to do it. What are you afraid of? This is the safest place to audition. You know us.
For real.
Do it.
I do think one piece of feedback, I'd love to you guys to chat about it. One piece of feedback I get, not feedback, but just worry, is that, the reality is that we do majority at this point of fiction. And I do want to point out something. I told you what I love, but I'm gonna be personally, and VO Journey, just a little hint, personally, will be getting way more into the AI proofing your business game. All right. There's a little tidbit for the future. And one of the ways to do it, one of the more insulated against AI is fiction. And right. So I see a lot of people who, and especially men, I'm not saying it doesn't happen with women as well, but there's a lot of men, especially older men, who are just fixated on, I only do nonfiction work. And we primarily do nonfiction, but we do a lot of fiction. And so I don't see as many of those men. I think they're worried about voices and characters.
They are.
And things like
I think
that.
that's
So
exactly it.
they don't audition.
Yeah.
And they're missing out.
Mhm.
And interestingly enough, I had a author contact me yesterday personally to do an audiobook, and they had never worked with me before, and they were asking what my thoughts on, because there was a couple characters and some female characters, and they wanted to know how do I approach female characters, right? And of course, I let them know how I approach female characters, right? Which we know, understated, unless it's something farcical or over the top, as a male character or male or female narrator doing the opposite sex, we don't want to make characters to where they're over the top and silly sounding almost. The more understated it is, the better, because the listener will get that it's the right, who they are. All right, based off of the line. So you don't need to do them. The author was absolutely in agreement, but I'm saying that is something that I think we're worried about, or a lot of older men I know, because they talk to me about that. They're worried about they think they can't sound like a woman, or they can't sound like that. You don't need to sound like a woman.
No.
It's a very subtle shift.
Right. Right. Even and often it's not even necessarily a pitch shift. It could just be how fast you talk. It could be just doing something little like that. What do you guys think about for women trying to do male voices?
It's the same thing. It's point of view. It's attitude. It's point of view of the character. It's the way the character presents that has to lead, not the voice. This is the same thing I'm teaching in Acting 101 right now. Nobody cares how you sound. The question is, how am I acting? Yeah.
I think a lot of new actors get caught up with that when you hear voice acting, you have to become the voice actor, and everything is a caricature of the voices, instead of just, like you said, Gabby, it's just attitude. It's the character's personality.
Yep.
Right? I always recommend Jurassic Park by Scott Brick. It's a great example of subtle character shift.
It really is. And in that audiobook, he what I love about Scott is that he does, the female voices that he does, right, are very subtle, but he focuses on being very good at accents. He does very good accents. Scott does, the ones that he does, but I think that's, absolutely, you don't have to do this high, like I think most men think, I've got to do, I'm a girl, like that kind of thing, right?
Please
you know
don't.
what I mean? Exactly. That's not that. No one wants that.
No.
No one wants that.
In fact, from a casting perspective, there's two things I'm constantly having to look out for, and it's listenability and it's understandability, right? We can easily go into a pitch register for a long period of time that is unlistenable, right? It just gets grating. And then the other is with accents. Sometimes, you can be really authentic with an accent, but can I understand what you're saying? That's a big thing. So subtler is always better.
Less is more.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I'd say we call it a day, guys.
Gabby's got work to do. Let's go.
I do. I got meetings.
Let's go. Oh,
I love it. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure that you check out, as always, Academy Voices. If you're not there, you need to be there. It is a great place. It's a growing place. and there's something to be said about being somewhere where new opportunities are going to be coming, that we can tell you and you can be prepared for, which is exciting.
Yes,
Mhm.
and
got
if
a
you're
lot
new
happening.
in your voice acting journey, then check out Vio's journey.
And at
because
this point,
our
this
training
is
arm.
one of the best places, and it's one of the best places to be to combat AI,
Mhm.
because it really is it is, we are all about human voice and doing everything we can to promote that and to publish that work. So that's the place to be.
And
Well-
don't forget the workshop we have coming up on Tuesday.
Yep, we got a workshop coming up on Tuesday. We'll be live again tomorrow. And
Yep.
Angela has tonight is
Launchpad.
Launchpad.
Mhm.
So yay, lots going on. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful Thursday. We will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you all later. Thank you.